Shalom, shalom, shalom. Time flies and scripts. What up, man? Wake up. Get up. We got stuff to do. We got stuff to do. I got to get in this garden today. But before we do, man, we're going to get these rides and scripts in. Rise and scripts. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. We back at it in second ESDRAS. We are back at it in second ESDRAS today. We're going to pick back up in chapter 7. We're going to try to read chapter 7 through 9. We're going to see for sure 7 and 8. 8 is a longer one. We for sure going to read 7 and 8. I'm going to try to get to 9 too before my people get here so we can get started in this garden. So we can get started in this garden area and some other things we need to get done. Done. Moving some steps. We're going to get some shit together, man. We're going to get some shit together. But it is what it is. It is what it is. So as long as you have breath to breathe, then you have all you need to succeed. And since I have breath to breathe, then I might as well go ahead and read, man. So come on in so we can begin. Let's go over the books of the Bible so we can get over and done with. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 1 Chronicles, 2 Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi, 1 Esdras, 2 Esdras, which we're about to get back into, Tobit, Judith, the rest of Esther, the Wisdom of Solomon, Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, Sirach, Baruch, the Song of the Three Holy Children, the history of Susanna, the destruction of Bel and the dragon, the prayer of Manasseh, 1 Maccabees, 2 Maccabees, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1 Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Titus, Philemon, Hebrews, James, 1 Peter, 2 Peter, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, Jude, and Revelations. And these are the books of the Bible. Shalom, shalom, everybody. Welcome to Rise in Scripts, man. Welcome to Rise in Scripts. So we got the books of the Bible out of the way. Let's go ahead and get into 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras chapter 7. 2nd Esdras chapter 7 today. Blow up this trumpet right quick and then we'll get to reading, man. See if that might have woke my sons up. All right. Trumpets is blown. Shalom. Trumpets is blown. Let's get into chapter 7. Chapter 7 of 2nd Esdras. Esdras, in the last, what we read yesterday, Esdras was talking to the angel Uriel, and Uriel was showing him things after he had then told Esdras to fast for 7 days and weep, and then he can show him greater things. And so far he did it twice. I believe he's going to do it 3 times. And he was asking all type of questions, trying to figure out what is going to happen. Why is his people in this shape? Why is his people sinning like they sinning? Why can't they get it right? So chapter 7. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me an angel which had been sent unto me the night afore. And he said unto me, Up, Esdras, and hear the words that I come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my God. And then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case of the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? And if he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all the good things. And the entrance thereof is narrow, and is not in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at a time. And if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? And I said, It is so, Lord. And then said he unto me, Even so also is Israel's portion, and because for their sake I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail, and they are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. For the entrance of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. And if then they that live labor not to enter these straits and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. Now therefore, who disquietest thou thyself, and seeing that thou art but a corruptible man, and why art thou moved, and whereas thou art but mortal? Why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? Then answered I and said, O Lord, that bearest rule, thou hast ordained in thy law that the righteous should inherit these things, but that the ungodly shall perish. And nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, and hope for wide. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. And he said unto me, There is no judge above God, and none that hath understanding above the highest. For there be many that perish in this life, but they despise the law of God that is set before them. Man, my eyes is tripping. For God had given strict commandments to such as came, that what they should do to live, and even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. I got it marked already, but I'll go ahead and re-highlight it. He gave them straight commandments. What it is and what it ain't, what you can and what you can't. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spake against him, and imagined vain things. I didn't have that one marked. And deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not, and knew not his ways. I'll get that too. But his laws they have despised, and denied his covenants, and his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his works. And therefore, Esdras, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are full things. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told thee shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen, and that now is withdrawn from the earth. And whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders. For my son Jesus shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years. After these years shall my son Christ die, and all men that have life. And the world shall be turned into an old silence 7 days, and like is in the former judgments, so that no man shall remain. After 7 days, the world that yet awaken not shall be raised up, and that shall die that is corrupt. And the earth shall restore those that are asleep in her, and so shall the dust those that dwell in silence, and in the secret places shall deliver those souls that were committed unto them. And the Most High shall appear upon the seat of judgment, and misery shall pass away, and the long suffering shall have an end. But judgment only shall remain, and truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong, and the work shall follow, and the reward shall be shewed, and the good deeds shall be of force, and wicked deeds shall bear no rule. Then said I, Abraham prayed first for the Sodomites, and Moses for the fathers that sinned in the wilderness, and Jesus after him for Israel in the time of Achan, and Samuel and David for the destruction, and Solomon for them that should come to the sanctuary, and Elias for those that received rain, and for the dead that he might live, and Ezekias for the people in the time of Sennacherib, and many for many. Even so now, seeing corruption is grown up, and wickedness increased, and the righteous have prayed for the ungodly, wherefore shall it not be so now also? He answered me and said, This present life is not the end where much glory doth abide, and therefore have they prayed for the weak. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, and wherein corruption is past, and intemperance is at an end. Intemperance is at an end. Infidelity is cut off. Righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. And then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that hath gotten the victory. I answered then and said, This is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam, or else, when it was given him, to have restrained him from sinning. For what profit is it for men now, in this present time, to live in heaviness, and after death to look for punishment? O thou Adam, what hast thou done? For though it was thou that sinned, thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come of thee. For what profit is it unto us, if there be promised us an immortal time, whereas we have done the works that bring death? And that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas ourselves, being most wicked, are made vain. And that there is laid up for us dwellings of health and safety, whereas we have lived wickedly. And that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a weary life, and whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all. And that there should be shewed a paradise whose fruit endureth forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it. For we have walked in unpleasant places, and that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. And then answered he me, and said, This is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight, that if he be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. And this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people while he lived, saying, Choose thee life, that thou mayest live. And nevertheless, they believed not him, nor yet the prophets after him, no, nor me, which have spoken unto them. And that there should not be such heaviness in their destruction, as shall be joy over them that are persuaded to salvation. I answered then, and said, I know, Lord, that the Most High is called merciful, and in that he had mercy upon them which are not yet come into the world, and upon those also that turn to his law, and that he is patient and long-suffering, those that have sinned as his creatures, and that he is bountiful, for he is ready to give where it needeth, and that he is of great mercy, for he multiplieth more and more mercies to them that are present, and that are past, and also to them which are to come. For if he shall not multiply his mercies, the world would not continue with them that inherit therein. And he pardoneth, for if he did not so of his goodness, that they which committed iniquities might be eased of them, and 10,000s part of men should not remain living. And being judged, if he should not forgive them that are cured with his word, and put out the multitude of contentions, there should be very few left peradventure in the innumerable multitude. Chapter 8. And he answered me, saying, The Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for few. I will tell thee a similitude, ESDRAS. As when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee, that it giveth much mold, whereof earthen vessels are made. Mold, could, much mold, could, much mud is M-O-U-L-D, mud. It's given much mud, whereof earthen vessels are made, must mean clay. But little dust that gold cometh of, and even so is the course of this present world. There be many created, but few shall be saved. There be many created, but few shall be saved. M-O-U-L-D, M-O-U-L-D. Mold. Not mold, mold. It says moles, so I guess it's pronounced the same way. Mold, not mold, mold. Mold. UK spelling is mold, M-O-L-D. I don't believe it's the same thing as mold, because you wouldn't make earthen vessels out of mold. Man. So answered I and said, Swallow then down, O my soul, understanding, and devour wisdom. For thou hast agreed to give ear, and art willing to prophesy. For thou hast no longer space than only to live. O Lord, if thou suffer not thy servant, that we may pray before thee, and thou give us seed unto our heart, the culture to our understanding, that there may come fruit of it. How shall each man live that is corrupt, who beareth the place of a man? For thou art alone, and we all one workmanship of thine hands, like as thou hast said. For when the body is fashioned now in the mother's womb, and thou gavest its members, thy creature is preserved in fire and water. And 9 months doth thy workmanship endure, thy creature which is created in her. But that which keepeth and is kept shall both be preserved. And when the time cometh, the womb preserved delivereth up the things that grew in it. For thou hast commanded out of the parts of the body, that is to say, out of the breast, milk to be given, which is the fruit of the breasts. And that the thing which is fashioned may be nourished for a time, till thou disposeth it to thy mercy. Thou broughtest it up with thy righteousness, and nourished it in thy law, and reformed it with thy judgment, and thou shalt mortify it as thy creature, and quicken it as thy work. If therefore thou shalt destroy him which with so great labor was fashioned, it is an easy thing to be ordained by thy commandment, that the thing which was made might be preserved. And now, therefore, Lord, I will speak touching man in general, and thou knowest best, but touching thy people, for whose sake I am sorry. And for thine inheritance, for whose cause I mourn, and for Israel, for whom I am heavy, and for Jacob, for whose sake I am troubled. Therefore will I begin to pray before thee for myself and for them, for I see the falls of us that dwell in the land. But I have heard the swiftness of the judge which is to come. And therefore hear my voice and understand my words, and I shall speak before thee. This is the beginning of the words of ESDRAS, before he was taken up. And I said, O Lord, thou that dwellest in everlasting, which beholdest from above things in the heaven and in the air. Whose throne is inestimable, whose glory may not be comprehended, and before whom the host of angels stand with trembling, and whose service is conversant in wind and fire, and whose word is true, and sayings constant, whose commandment is strong, and ordinance is faithful, whose look drieth up the depths, and indignation maketh the mountains to melt away, with the truth witnesseth, which the truth witnesseth. Shalom. O hear the prayer of thy servant, and give ear to the petition of thy creature. For while I live, I will speak, and so long as I have understanding, I will answer. O look not upon the sins of thy people, but on them which serve thee in truth, and regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen, but the desire of those that keep thy testimonies and afflictions. Think not upon those that have walked finely before thee, or fiendly before thee, but remember them which according to thy will have known thy fear. Let it not be thy will to destroy them which have lived like beasts, but to look upon them that have clearly taught thy law. Take thou no indignation at them which are deemed worse than beasts, but love them that always put their trust in thy righteousness and glory. For we and our fathers do languish of such diseases, and but because of us sinners thou shalt be called merciful. For if thou hast a desire to have mercy upon us, thou shalt be called merciful to us, namely, that have no works of righteousness. For the just, which have many good works laid up with thee, shall out of their own deeds receive reward. For what is man, that thou shouldest take displeasure in him? Or what is the corruptible generation, that thou shouldest be so bitter toward it? For in truth, there is no man among them that be born, but he had dealt wickedly. And among the faithful, there is none which had not done amiss. For in this, O Lord, thy righteousness and thy goodness shall be declared. And if thou be merciful unto them which have not the confidence of good works. Then answered he me and said, some things hast thou spoken aright, and according unto thy words it shall be. For indeed I will not think on the disposition of them which have sinned before death, but before judgment and before destruction. But I will rejoice over the disposition of the righteous, and I will remember also their pilgrimage and the salvation and the reward that they shall have. Like as I have spoken now, so shall it come to pass. For as the husbandman soweth much seed upon the ground and planted many trees, and yet the thing that is sown good in his season cometh not up, neither doth all that is planted take root. Oh, that's true. That's definitely something you learn when you're planting. You may have planted a lot, but not everything gonna come up. Even so is it of them that are sown in the world. They shall not all be saved. I answered them, then and said, if I have found grace, let me speak. Like as the husbandman need seed perisheth if it come not up, and receive not thy rain in due season, or if there come too much rain and corrupt it, even so perisheth man also, which is formed with thy hands, and is called thine own image, because thou art like unto him, for whose sake thou hast made all things, and likened him unto the husbandman's seed. Be not wroth with us, but spare thy people, and have mercy upon thine own inheritance, for thou art merciful unto thy creature. Then answered he me and said, things present are for the present, and things to come for such as be to come. For thou comest far short, that thou shouldest be able to love my creature more than I. But I have oftentimes drawn nigh unto thee and unto it, but never to the unrighteous. And in this also thou art marvelous before the Most High, and in that thou hast humbled thyself as to become thee, and hast not judged thyself worthy to be much glorified among the righteous. For many great miseries shall be done to them that are in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. Oh, man. For unto you is paradise opened, and tree of life is planted, and the time to come is prepared. Plenteousness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you, and wickedness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are past, and in the end eschewed the treasure of immortality. And therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. For when they had taken liberty, They despised the Most High, and thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. And moreover, they have trodden down his righteousness, and said in their heart that there is no God, and yea, and that I, knowing that they must die. For as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so thirst and pain are prepared for them. For it was not his will that men should come to naught. But they which are be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life for them. And therefore is my judgment now at hand. And these things have I not shewed unto all men, but unto thee, and a few like thee. And then answered I and said, Behold, O Lord, now hast thou shewed me the multitude of the wonders, which thou wilt begin to do in the last times. But at what time thou hast not shewed me. I think we're going to stop there at chapter 9. Yeah, we're going to stop there at chapter 9. Let me see what time I got to go. Yeah, I got to go get my little brother. Man, I'll amend the description to say chapter 7 and chapter 8 of 2nd ESDRAS. That was rising scripts this morning. I didn't read all that well. My eyes was blurry. I didn't read all that well. But I succeeded. But I still succeeded. We succeeded in reading 7 and 8. Like I said, it's going to be 7 and 8, and I was going to see how long it took me to get to 9. 9 is another page, which will take me about another, I don't know, 15 minutes. 15 minutes maybe. But by that time, I'm going to be past the time I need to leave. So, man, shalom, everybody. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, man. Get things done. You have breath to breathe. If you have breath to breathe, then you have all you need to succeed. So we got to keep pushing and succeed, man. We got to succeed. Oh, man. We got to keep pushing and succeed. So till next time, be on the lookout tomorrow. I'll get up tomorrow, Sabbath morning, or Sabbath, early in the Sabbath. And we'll pick back up in chapter 9 and read chapter 9, 9, 10. We'll read chapter 9, 10, and 11 because I'm not going to have nothing to do tomorrow. But read. So we'll pick up tomorrow in 2nd ESDRAS chapter 9, 10, and 11. And then we'll have the Sabbath reading where we'll pick back up in 2nd Chronicles and try to finish off 2nd Chronicles. Oh, man. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Keep pushing, everybody. Keep pushing. Shalom. Shalom, everybody. Have a good day. Mocha. Shalom. Shalom.